Last presentation tonight, I invite Commissioner Emeritus, who will present a proclamation regarding Coral Ridge Presbyterian Church and Westminster Academy Day in the city of Fort Lauderdale.
Thank you, Mayor.
Mayor?
Yep.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but a moment of personal privilege, please.
Okay.
Thank you. Just a very brief statement, and thank you for your indulgence, and also to Commissioner Emeritus, thank you for your indulgence and guests. But it is important to note that for many in our community, the name of Reverend D. James Kennedy and the Coral Ridge Presbyterian Church still bring forth many bad memories and a lot of hurt and a lot of pain. The wounds are still there. This proclamation makes no mention of the past or present anti-LGBTQ actions of the church, no mention of any apologies if there are any. It is a sanitized and whitewashed history of Dr. Kennedy and the church. It is also troubling that the D. James Kennedy Ministries is still, to this day, listed on the Southern Poverty Law Center's hate groups list, one of only 68 in the entire state of Florida. Fort Lauderdale is a diverse and welcoming city, and it is important to bring these concerns forward. That being said, I do offer congratulations to the church and the school for their positive achievements. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Commissioner Emeritus.
Commissioner, before you begin, can I just say something? Thank you for your comments. And as you know, as many know, this mayor has been an activist in this community for a number of years, trying to advocate on behalf of the LGBT community and trying to ensure their rights and equal rights for everyone. And there's no doubt that the Coral Ridge Presbyterian Church and one of its previous pastors has been a difficult challenge for our community. And to say the least, I stood out there on sidewalks and demonstrated and in front of the convention center as well as their church, in which we protested the types of practices that church engaged in once upon a time. But from the time that I became mayor, and even before that, I decided it was time to build bridges, where before there were none. I have reached out to many segments of my community, including those that are faith-based. Times have changed, and so have their leaders. And every one of them has been eager to bring our communities together. Many of you may not know this, but over the last 3 years, I have been meeting with members of the faith community, including the Coral Ridge Presbyterian Church, as well as many other churches, and as well as faith-based leaders in the LGBT community. We have been together co-hosting small dinner gatherings to exchange ideas and to talk about how we can reach communion together as a community as opposed to fighting each other. So it's time to build the future based on love and not hate. And it's time for those who still harbor resentment to let go of it. I know I have, and I know our community is better off for it. So,
Mayor, those are wonderful words. And that being said, I wish some of that was in the proclamation, because the proclamation is totally devoid of any of those historical facts or the apologies or the reconciliation that you talk of. But I have been inundated with emails, texts, phone calls the last several days. No one in the LGBTQ community is aware of any of these discussions, this reconciliation, these talks, this outreach. Perhaps that communication could have come before this, or at least a mention of any of that in any of the whereas clauses. People today have still been emailing. I think we've even received them as city commissioners today at our city hall email addresses as well, questioning policies at the school, questioning conversion therapy, questioning support of that, questioning calls for only 3 concerns on the website. And one of them is concerns that people should have voted in November based on their feelings about same-sex marriage. So those issues are still out there, and they're out there strong, Mayor. That's why so many people are questioning this proclamation. That's why so many people want to know, does an LGBTQ student have the availability to attend Westminster Academy and feel safe and feel nurtured? Is that even allowed? Is a straight child allowed to attend Westminster if there are LGBTQ parents, and are they welcome? So there's a lot of questions. I don't want to belabor this. I just want to say that all of those wonderful things you said would be great if only anyone was aware of it, or if anyone had seen a mention of it in the proclamations. But thank you for the words.
Okay, so tonight is a teaching moment for all of us. It's an opportunity for the public to be aware of this, and it's an opportunity for us to begin today to try to build those bridges. It's not always being able to meet with one another, doing it in a public way. Sometimes we don't always have that opportunity. But going forward, we have discussed doing public events together. And I think with new leadership, both on this commission as well as in the various churches, we have a lot of good things to look forward to, because this is a community that does appreciate diversity, as you said, and embraces that. And this is all part of that. So yes, I've got emails and texts from people all over the state saying, "What are you doing?" Okay. But those people, their minds are in the past. We have to learn to evolve and become better people. And there are a lot of people who seem to profit and benefit from fear-mongering and hate. And, we recently experienced that in leadership in this country, and it took us to a dark place. We need to pull ourselves out of that dark place, and we need to look forward and look into the light and see how we can be better people. So I agree. Let's not belabor this, but I do want to say, I appreciate the fact that folks from those institutions that we're recognizing tonight are here. And I can tell you that they've reached their hand out to join us, to join everybody in the community, and to make it a better place for everyone that lives in Fort Lauderdale. So, Commissioner.
That's wonderful. And I look forward to listening to those sermons at the church and seeing those words on their websites and on their policies for the school and the church. And I think everyone will look forward to seeing everything that you just said on their official documents as part of their statements and sermons. And I too look forward to that. Thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome. Whew. Commissioner Moritas.
Yes, and thank you. Thank you, Vice Mayor, for bringing up those points, and Mayor Chantelis for your comments also, and Vice Mayor as the District Commissioner. And it was my idea and to recognize Coral Ridge Presbyterian Church and Westminster Academy for the work they've done in our community. I am a proud member of Coral Ridge Presbyterian Church. I did work at Westminster Academy for a number of years, and both of my daughters graduated from Westminster Academy. But more than that, one of the first men I ever loved was a gay man. My grandfather had 13 children and then lived and came out as a gay gentleman, and I will always love him and value him.
It took him 13 children.
Took him 13 children, but we appreciate that we're here. But, it was also my gay grandfather, who was a Catholic in this area. Once you all know, I grew up here. And he was the one, when my parents were neighbors and my mom got pregnant at 15, it was my grandfather who was the one that encouraged my parents to get married at 15 and 16. And he did not want my mom to have an abortion. And so they chose life. I was the first grandchild on that side. Happy, healthy, here I am, and I have long history in Fort Lauderdale, maybe different than some of yours. Maybe my beginning wasn't quite planned, but God had a plan. So here I am, and I have respected my grandfather. I've loved many other gay men and women, including you, Steve, and you, Dean. And it's a privilege to serve with you. And so today I'm just speaking from a point of love and recognition. I wasn't planning on saying all those things. So yes, now you know my history. There's probably nothing more exciting or that you need to know about me. The rest of my life is kind of pretty boring. I am a double gator and I have a great husband. But besides that, now you all know about me, and I do appreciate our church and our pro-life stance, and that's very important to me as well. Once again, the City Commission is not a partisan body, but if I were to be partisan, I would certainly be pro-life, and I defend my church and my school every day. But since you don't need to know that about me, and I've already won twice, if you want to run against me now, please do, and that's okay. So now that we got that all out of the way, Rob and Joel, can you please come to the front? And I'd like to recognize my pastor, Rob Hazienza, my headmaster, Joel Satterley. And once again, they're in District 1. You all can just stand in the front and I'll read this proclamation. We are excited. And then George, why don't you come to the front too? George Moritas, my husband, has served in our church for years. He's currently an elder at the church. And so, yeah, we'd love you to.
He's too young to be an elder.
Too young. He hit 50 already.
Oh,
But you know what? You Greeks, you have really dark hair. Look, George's is just as dark as yours, Mayor. One of you is natural.
at least the natural dark hair.
Yes. We both agree at that too. No. So seriously, thank you all for coming. And it's an honor to recognize you both today. I have two proclamations. I'm going to merge them a little bit, recognizing the church and the school. So from the office of the mayor of the city of Fort Lauderdale, we issue this proclamation in recognition of Coral Ridge Presbyterian Church and Westminster Academy. Whereas Coral Ridge Presbyterian Church is commemorating its 60th anniversary on Sunday, March 21st, and Westminster Academy is celebrating its 50th anniversary as a school. Whereas Coral Ridge Presbyterian Church has been equipping gospel-centered, cultural-shaping Christians from generation to generation since it chartered in 1960. Whereas Coral Ridge established Westminster Academy, a K-12 school, in 1971 at the Pompano Racetrack, with 21 teachers, 340 students, and 150 covenant families, whereas Westminster Academy's first graduating class in 1973 consisted of 8 students, but serves 856 today, 676 family units, and has 150 faculty and staff members, whereas Westminster Academy has nearly 4,000 alumni who have challenged to be exceptional thinkers, lifelong learners, influential leaders with a biblical worldview for college and life, whereas Westminster Academy is just one of 3 schools in Florida accredited by the Council on Education Standards and Accountability, whereas under the guidance of lead pastors, including current pastor Rob Pazienza, the church has reached hundreds of millions around the world with the gospel of Jesus Christ, whereas the church has greatly impacted the community through outreach via concert series, radio, television, evangelical programs such as Evangelism Explosion, and schools such as Knox Theological Seminary and Westminster Academy. Now, therefore, we, as the city commissioners of the city of Fort Lauderdale, Florida, do hereby recognize Westminster Academy on their golden anniversary and Coral Ridge Presbyterian Church on their 60th anniversary. We do by congratulate you. Signed and dated this day, March 16th, from Mayor D.J. Trantelis. And with that, Rob, yes, thank you. Welcome. Rob, would you like to say a word?
Thank you so much for this honor. Commissioner Moritas, Mayor Trantelis, and the commission, we are honored to accept this proclamation. As it's already been mentioned, and even Commissioner Glassman, appreciates your words as well. I think for far too long, the church has been known more for what they've been against than what they've been for. And we look forward to continuing to build those bridges. Our time together has been just a highlight, talking about the one thing that we can come together in is our love for this city of Fort Lauderdale. And you can count on us here at Coral Ridge and Westminster Academy. We all love this city, and we want this to be the best city to live, work, play, raise your family, educate your children. And so we're committed to that. But thank you for this honor. And we love the opportunity to continue to serve our city and the people that live in it.
Thank you, Rob. Joel, would you like to say a word?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Commissioner and the rest. When I heard you, Heather, say 1971 at the Pompano Racetrack, there's a picture of that in our boardroom to remind all of us of the journey that has happened and those who have gone before. So we look forward to a wonderful future, and we're very, very happy to celebrate 50 years of nearly 4,000 alum that have left this place and gone out all around the world and made significant differences in every field that you can think of. And some have stayed here at home to help make Fort Lauderdale a wonderful place for us to live in that. Rob's been here a lot longer than I have. One of my first social events here was just at the Tower Club, not far from here, at a luncheon, a business luncheon, and I was astounded at the number of people in that room that had a connection either to Westminster Academy or Coral Ridge, and just reminds us about the influence that we've been fortunate to have. And happy to be here tonight, and thank you for this honor.
Thank you. We'll take a quick break.
That's it. Great. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you.